So I'm going to show you how to actually construct the physical circuit using a breadboard and the myDAQ. And we're going to use the RC circuit as an example of this. So just before we start, on the breadboards you see that there are these columns of holes, and these are connected in this direction here and in this direction here. There is no connection between each of these columns, so from here to here there is no connection. Also, from this side to this side there is no connection across this gap here. So if we wanted to replace the capacitor in this circuit, then we might place it across here, like so. If we want to connect the resistor to the capacitor, then we make sure it's in the same column there and not for the other leg here. And then what we have to do is connect up this circuit to the myDAQ. So we're going to take a little bit of hookup wire and we're going to strip off the ends. It's important when we strip not to strip too much. You only want about 5-6 millimeters off each end. The reason for doing that is that when we place it in the breadboard here, then it's going to go all the way down and you're not going to have any bare wire sticking out. Same here when we stick it into here. Now remember, we want to use the frequency analyzer here, so we're going to go for output 0, like so. And it's important to make sure you go into the top of these connections when you do so, and then we simply tighten up the screw to tighten it up, and if it's got in properly, we should have a nice firm, shouldn't be able to pull it out, connection. We need to make sure that we've connected up the ground from the base of the capacitor here into analog ground on the myDAQ. Again. And then we want to connect up where we actually do the measurements in this particular circuit. So we're going to measure the input voltage to our system using the analog input 0 plus, which is here. And we're going to attach that to the input of our circuit, which is where the resistor is. And we're going to use analog input 1 plus to measure the output of our circuit, and the output of the RC circuit is where the capacitor and the resistor meet. And we need to make sure, because we're measuring voltages from, say, this point to ground, or from this point to ground down here, that the ground on our analog input, or the minus side of our analog input, is also attached to ground. I'm going to do that on the myDAQ itself by putting a connection in from the ground, from the -1 to analog ground, and I'm going to put another connection from the 0 minus into analog ground as well. And again, I just make sure that all of these are nice and firm. And there we have it, our completed circuit.